Now for the show that's truly too hot to handle. It's The Melting Pat, and it starts right now.
You're listening to The Melting Pat. Here's your host, Pat Johnson.
Well, thank you, Jerome. Let's move the mic. How are you? Welcome to the show, The Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. How's it going? It is a rainy Wednesday here at the old studio. Not in the studio, I don't think. No, it doesn't. I just hit my headphones on the chair here. It doesn't sound like it's coming in, so that's good. That's helpful. But hi, how's it going? Patrons got a bonus today. Nice big bonus about how this show was almost named something different, and maybe even could have been a completely different show in many other ways. So give me $1 for one time for a month. You can give me $1 and then cancel, or, give me $1 and then forget about it and keep paying me $1 every month and get the show early and other stuff. So yeah, there you go. Sign up for that. Patreon.com/TheMeltingPat for a bonus that is up for you today. All right. Awesome. Great. Break. Not really. How you doing today, though? You good? Is everyone doing okay? I'm all right. I'm okay. I could be better, of course. If people were less stupid, that'd be great. Nothing in particular happened. That's just the general feeling that I've gotten over the last month and a half or so, is that people are very dumb, and I would like it if they were less dumb. And if that maybe that's not even it. Maybe that's too much to ask. Maybe if they weren't so public with their stupidity. Maybe that's it. I think that's what I want instead. Instead of, obviously, ideally, I'd like you to learn things and be more knowledgeable when you're going to be sharing your thoughts with the world. But if that's too much to ask, then, if you see something and you don't really know all the ins and outs of it, maybe just keep scrolling and don't just go, and just keep scrolling. Maybe just do that. And then, and then we'll all be better. All right. Like, no one will really know you're a dumbass, and I won't have to worry about trying to educate people because I don't get paid enough for that. But I'm happy to do it. But like many other educators, I don't get paid enough to do that. So there you go. There you go. Also, okay, before we do the review and hear from the captain, we got some free food the other day. So my Smoking Hot wife runs a free stuff group on Facebook, and people post like, hey, I need this. Anybody have this? It's actually how, if you remember from episode 500, people wanted to start a podcast, and I gave them microphones and clips and wires and whatnot. So I hope that's going well. And that's how I made that connection through that group. And so every so often things will come up and she'll go, oh, what about this? And she saw that someone had an event and had a bunch of food left over. And she goes, okay. And they were, they lived 10 minutes from here or so, 15 minutes, whatever. And they were like, okay, what is it? Like with big, party trays of food. And the person said, yeah, we had an event and 3 people showed up. And so they had a ton of food. And the woman was like, yeah, I don't have room in my fridge for it. Like, can someone please pick it up? And so Jill saw that and said, she's like, oh, somebody has free food. It's nearby. It's actually by my high school, which is not far from here. And so she's like, do you want me to go get it? Like, I'll put on, I'll go get dressed and I'll go grab it. And I said, yeah, why not? Like, free food. Why not? Somebody says, hey, come pick up free food. And we can, so go pick up free food. So I stayed with the boy. Blah, 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 blah. I'm so excited to tell you about the free food. I can't get the sentences out. So I stayed with the boy. It was like 9 o'clock at night. She went over and grabbed a thing. And she didn't know, maybe she didn't tell me, but maybe she didn't know where it was from when she left. So she comes back, and it's from a local place called Sweet Lucy's. And she comes in with a big box. She's like, yeah, the lady came out and had it all boxed up and put it in the car for me. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, free. You drove like 10 minutes, like 20 minutes total, I guess. Maybe a little longer. But anyway, she comes back, huge box, just huge trays of chicken, collard greens, coleslaw, mac and cheese, like a little tub of pickles and the sauce, and bags of rolls, like delicious rolls. It was amazing. And I just, man, so good. Like, look, you've been listening to the show, so it's been some, not all smooth sailing around here in the last couple months. And so, yeah, sometimes you just need a win, man. Sometimes you need a win and getting a massive box of free food. That's a big win. I was really excited. We had some last night. I had some for lunch today. Probably going to have some for lunch tomorrow. I'm really excited. It's so good. And like I said, sometimes you just need a win, and sometimes you just got to be the one to step up and take it. And it's really good. And she said other people were commenting like, oh, take it to the homeless or do this, which, okay, is a noble suggestion, but it's not always practical. It's 9:00 at night. The woman doesn't have space to store it and probably doesn't have the means to go over, may not have the means to go over and donate it somewhere, whatever. So she's like, nope, I want somebody to come pick it up, and hopefully today, ideally today. And so Jill was like, scroll past all those dumbass comments and say, hey, I'll be there in 20 minutes. And the lady's like, yeah, great. Brought out the car and put it in there. The fact that she was so eager to get rid of it that she had it all boxed up and just put it in the car for her was fantastic. And the food was great. So I do feel bad because the receipt was in the box and they spent a lot of money. And we've been on the end of, we plan a party, do all the prep, and it was like some organization had their holiday party. And she said 3 people showed up. And we've been on the end of that where you spend all the money on the food, you prep, you clean, you do whatever, and then you're left with so much and have nothing to do with it. And so, yeah, we've been on the other end, so I'm happy to be able to help out, and also happy that we got a bunch of free food, and it was delicious. And guess what? Tomorrow for lunch, it's probably still going to be delicious. I'm looking forward to it again. Fantastic. So, yeah, sometimes, man, you just need a win. You just need to win, and this was our holiday win, I suppose. And so I hope somehow for you get a similar win this holiday season or any season. If you, tell you what, if you get a win like this, if you get something where, you're, I don't know about down on your luck is the right phrase, not for us anyway, but if you just hit a rough patch, right? You hit something, things just don't go swimmingly. Let's say that. And all of a sudden, just something comes up and goes, you know what? I needed this today. Let me know. themeltingpat.com. Reach out, the contact page. Let me know if you have had a win after kind of a rough go, and you've had a win. Let me know what it is. Let's celebrate our wins together and have some fun. All right? So there you go. There's your holiday happy story for today, mixed in with people, please stop being so dumb, or at least stop being so public with your dumbness, and we'll all be great. All right? Great. Okay, let's turn it over. Hopefully. I meant to say, let's turn it over. I hope so. And that almost became hopefully, which I guess could work too. How would you spell that? I don't know. I'm not great at spelling anyway. So there you go. Hopefully we'll turn it over to the captain who will tell us what is going on with the Fly Guys. And if not, you'll hear a sound effect and then we get to the movie review faster. So there you go. But we'll cross our fingers and toes and say, good sir, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Hey, Flyers fans. Mark back at you again with another Flyers update. Yeah, woo, guys. Another Flyers update. I hope everyone is staying warm out there. It was a bit rainy where we were at and a bit mild, but whoa, got cold, got windy, and winter is here. Little Jack Frost nipping at your nose while Mark brings you a little bit of the Flyers update. So let's take a look at what the Flyers have been doing. So the Flyers, unfortunately, riding the 3-game losing streak. Last Thursday it started, ended up losing a game versus the Panthers at home 7-5. Now this game was a lot closer than that score tells you. The Flyers are actually winning 5-4, close to 5 minutes left in the game, and it just broke wide open after that. Then on Saturday, Flyers taking on Boston, and you know what? They lost in overtime, but I want to say that the Flyers had a pretty good game. Listen, they had Sam Ernstson come back, getting him back into the lineup. I can't tell you how important that is. Getting some consistency, getting our somewhat quasi number 1 goalie back was a huge benefit. So end up losing that game 4-3. They lost it in overtime. They were in Boston. You know what? The Flyers are going to come back home on Sunday. They're going to take care of business. Not so. Ended up coming home Sunday. Ernstson took the crease again, but ended up losing that game 4-2 versus the Flyers' first tangle with the Utah Hockey Club. That was not such a great game. But you know what? There's always another game. So the Flyers ended up taking on Columbus in Columbus on Tuesday. Ended up winning that game 5-3. So that broke the losing streak. Now hopefully the Flyers can continue on with this. Now looking ahead, the Flyers are going to take on Detroit at home Thursday. Saturday, they're in Minnesota. Wednesday, they're in Detroit. Now your boy, Matvei Michkov, is, lighting up the stat sheets. I don't know how he is not leading this Rookie of the Year contention, but I am personally pushing for it, and I hope you are too, because this kid is legit. Now, anyway, we're going to keep it going. The Flyers are going to get those good vibes from us, and we're going to see how this team can continue to move forward. Maybe make it 2 wins in a row this next game. So, guys, that's it for me here inside the Melting Pat on Next Level Radio.
There you have it. Thank you, my friend, the Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. In case he wasn't there, and again, that's fine. He's got maybe he went and got some free food, and he's in a food coma. And I am happy for him. That would be great. Or maybe he just forgot and got busy and, whatever. Whatever he's got to do. It's all good, man. It's all good. I thank you for your help this season because it's really fun. The updates are fun. Even though they bring me more work, it's really fun to put them together. So there you go with that. That's all the stuff I had to tell you for today. So visit all of my things at themeltingpat.com, Patreon, newsletter.com, Patreon, newsletter. The GoFundMe is still up there if you want to help out. If not, that's fine too. And reach out, say hello, tell me what's going on in your life. You can also send a text, leave a voicemail, 209-867-7638. Next week is our holiday show. If you're skipping the movie review, that's fine. Next week is our holiday show. We'll be reviewing an episode of The Office, and we're going to have a question. Oh, what are your favorite holiday traditions? We've done it in the past, and I usually get some fun answers. So we will talk about that as well. Favorite holiday traditions. I will post the question on socials next week. But if you want to get a jump start, let me know and I will write it down. Send it through the website so I get the email and the double notification so I know to write it down. Okay? Don't just text me because I will forget. Or just wait till I share the question. How about that? Sorry, I'm moving the headphone cable because I'm scratching my chin and I'm hitting the cable at the same time. I'm sorry for the weird ASMR. Just the weird noise, I guess. So there you go. That's all the stuff. We will end the movie review with a little song from it. There was a song at the end in the post-credit scene, so we mashed that together, and we'll play that at the end. So we'll do some jingle bells, and let us get on to our full spoilery review of the Netflix holiday original, Hot Frosty. Okay, so Hot Frosty, the Netflix original, I think, right? Well, okay, fine. Maybe I misspoke. It is streaming on Netflix. I recommend it. It was a delight, as we're gonna talk about. I thought it was absolutely delightful. So we open with a narrator letting us know that we're in for a fairy tale that's never been told like this. So I'm like, okay. We start off, it's like a storybook thing, so maybe we'll get a nice little lesson at the end. Did we? We're gonna find out together. Maybe you already watched the movie just now, and you know the answer, but I'll let everybody know at the end. Just to get, look, they're like, again, there might be somebody who didn't watch the movie and just listens to the show, and that's fine. That's all good with me. So we open with the scene, I guess, the first official scene of the movie is a woman who wakes up at home, and her house is in disrepair. The roof leaks, and the heat's off, clearly, and, well, the ceiling leaks, I guess, so that's a problem with the roof. And the steps are cracked. It's not good. We learn that the woman is also, they pan around like she's leaving the house to go to work, presumably, and they pan around to a photo on the dresser, black and white photo of her with the man. And I didn't read the synopsis before the movie, so then I had to pause it to do something else. And I saw that we already know going in, well, if you've read the synopsis, that she is a widow. And so I'm like, all right, that's probably going to make sense why the house is a mess. That'll be explained at some point. So her name is Kathy. She owns a diner called Kathy's Cafe, spelled with 2 Ks, by the way. Not where you think they are. There you go. Chew on that one. Also, the town is called Hope Springs, and they are having their annual snow sculpting competition. That's so festive. So everybody in the town square, they get together and they sculpt snowmen or snow people or they make snow sculptures. How's that? And so they're doing that. They're handling that business. So that's pretty cool. Nice establishing shots of the beautiful snowy town, which looks really fun. So Kathy goes across the street brings lunch to people at another business, which is a clothing store called Reclaimed Rags. And it's run by a woman named Mel. A woman named Mel and her husband Theo. And the woman gets all mushy talking to Kathy, gives her a scarf because it reminds her of one that helped her meet Theo, because everybody wants Kathy to bone, I guess. And so Kathy has it with her. She walks through the town snow sculptures at night, and she's just checking them out, going, oh, that's nice, that's nice. So she finds one. She found a snow. Man, I can't talk today. She found a snow sculpture, like a buff-looking snowman guy, and she puts the scarf on him, takes a picture of it, and then leaves. She goes home. She's done doing whatever she has to do. And then all of a sudden, the snowman that has this now, I guess, magical scarf, it's a new take on Frosty, I suppose, comes to life. So now he's a dude, naked, with nothing but a scarf. So he's walking around town naked. He spooks an older couple walking their dog. And the woman, the guy, like, falls over, like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. Bah! And the woman's like, let's investigate. Because if you don't know, women are, thirsty. Let's call it that. So this snowman, who doesn't have a name, we don't know, he sees the store, Reclaimed Rags, and he literally falls through the window, and he takes some clothes and takes some boots. He's like, oh, I should get dressed, I guess, because he saw a picture of people in clothes on a billboard, and is like, oh, I should probably put on clothes too. And so then we flip to a new day. The snowman is back with the other snow sculptures. Again, it's morning now, so people are actually out and about watching him and listening to him. Or like, they can notice him. How's that? So he's back in the town square, and he's telling them that, oh, it's great. I can talk. I love talking. And it happened to me. It can happen to you too. Like telling his snowman friends that they can also come to life if they have a magic scarf given to them by a pretty lady. So Kathy notices he's just like, here's this guy just talking to some snowmen, and he recognizes her like from the night before, because you're the one who gave me the scarf, and it's you. It's great. Very excited. And so now we're going to get this guy doing human stuff for the first time. And I'm very excited, because when a character in a movie is experiencing human things, human events for the first time, I love it. And that's what we're getting a lot of. We're going to get a lot of in this movie. Very excited. So the sheriff, who, according to Kathy, overreacts to everything, is Craig Robinson. And his partner, the other police officer, is Joe Latrulio. So Doug Judy and Charles Boyle reuniting from their days on Brooklyn Nine-Nine as, they're a sheriff and I guess deputy, I suppose. We'll call him deputy to make it easier. And it's like the sheriff is very hard-nosed. Like Kathy gave the example of he arrested somebody at the movie theater for opening too many candy wrappers. It was a noise issue. And so this guy is very serious about everything. Like, oh, there was a crime. The window broke. There was a streaker. Well, they don't know about the streaker yet, but the window broke. We're gonna make a task force. It's gonna be great. We're gonna find this guy. Don't you worry. So Kathy goes and talks to the snowman, who is she brought him into the diner and said, hey, come on, take a seat. You must be cold. Or like, come on, just come inside, sit down. We'll figure this out. So the snowman, one of the things that he got was a vest with a name tag that said Jack. So obviously the snowman will now go by Jack. No problem, I guess. I mean, it's right there. It's fine. No issue with it. I'm sure somebody had a complaint about it, but not me. Not me. So Kathy thinks the whole thing's a prank, like just some dude wandering in, just being a weirdo. And they're like, nope, we're going to go to a doctor. Doctor's across the street. Let's go figure out what's going on. And then we have a scene with the sheriff and the deputy at the police station, which was hilarious. The sheriff is writing a song while the officer is taking a call from someone reporting a crime. And oh my God. Oh, it's so good. And it's just so, I love these scenes. And I just feel like these two are going to steal every scene that they're in. At this point in the movie, I'm like, these guys are going to steal every scene. It's great. So he's writing a song, and the sheriff also thinks that this is a conspiracy. This crime wave is a conspiracy because he is 6 weeks away from being reappointed as sheriff of the town. So I know it's a long clip, but it was very funny, and I want to share it with you. Consequences be damned. Here is the song he was writing in his office.
Crime doesn't pay. Oh, not here, not today. Here in Hope Springs.
I'm sorry, can you speak up, please?
You better have
Just
your
a
bail.
little bit louder.
Cause we're taking you to jail here in Hope Springs.
Oh. Boss! Boss! You like it? I love it.
I just love it. I love it. So now they got him on the window breaking and the streaking. So now we got a real problem here. We got a real menace on our hands in Hope Springs. So we go to the doctor. We're at the doctor's office with Kathy and Jack. And the doctor is someone, she looks familiar. She was in a sitcom that I watched recently. Well, a couple years ago, I guess. I don't know her name. I didn't look it up. Sorry, everybody. So his temperature is below freezing. Like I said, when Kathy touched his face when he's shirtless outside. Wow, you're freezing. Let's go inside. But he's just cold all the time because he's a snowman. So, but also he's warm and maybe melting. So that's kind of a double there. So he's always cold, but also because he's indoors and doing things, he's melting because he's a snowman. So they don't want to leave him on the street. So they don't want to just put him out in the cold or whatever because they don't know where he can go, where he's from, whatever. So he wants to stay with Kathy because, as he said, he's literally known her his entire life. So there you go. So she gets him home and she turns on the TV. And the first thing on TV is a movie with Lindsay Lohan. And she's, in the hospital bed. I know what I am. Is it a scene from the Falling for Christmas, the Netflix Lindsay Lohan movie from 2 years ago? I feel like it might be. I don't know. Anyway, Lindsay Lohan is on TV. And Kathy, played by Lacey Chabert, goes, that looks just like a girl I went to high school with. So there's your Mean Girls reference right early on. Boom. There it is. I loved it. That was so good. So Kathy said, hey, I got to go to work. Just stay here, watch TV. Don't leave. Don't get in any trouble. So Kathy's talking to the doctor at the diner. And the sheriff walks in asking about the dangerous man in town. And like I said, these scenes with the sheriff have been the best so far. And I feel like they're just going to be the best scenes in the movie. So good. So again, Jack is watching TV, eating a bowl of ice, as one does for Christmas. So he goes to the basement. He's wandering. He's watching a whole bunch of stuff, a cooking show, a vampire movie, so he got scared, a couple other things too. And he goes to the basement just to look around. He finds a folder about Kathy's late husband, about his health issues. So she comes home and she's like, hey, the sheriff's asking questions and you just got to lay low, got to be cool. And so Jack, meanwhile, made pizza and eggnog. He learned how to do it from watching TV. And then they talk about Paul, Kathy's late husband, about what happened. And I got to say, Kathy explaining things to Jack, both big, serious and not so serious. It's so wholesome. Because, Jack literally came to life the day before. And so you have to be very direct and literal and be careful not to use too many figures of speech because he doesn't know what they mean. It's like talking to a Republican, right? You're talking to someone who was literally born yesterday. Same idea. Just be very direct, very simple, and you hopefully will be fine and it'll all work out. So Jack keeps watching TV and he finds a roof repair video. And so the next day he's out on the roof, shirtless, fixing it because, hey, it needs to be fixed. Let's go up. I'll learn how to do it and I'll fix the roof. So he's shirtless on the roof, fixing it. And he's a young guy in good shape, buff dude, right? So a woman drives by. She's distracted by the shirtless man on the roof, and she gets her car stuck in the snow. And I got to tell you, much like the old lady walking her dog earlier, and we're going to see in a second, the old women in this town, the elderly women in this town in Hope Springs are thirsty. My goodness. So she makes Jack come over. Jack gets her out of the snow with really no trouble at all. And she's like, hey, I need some work done. I need a light put up in my room. Can you do that? And so he goes over there, and all of a sudden this woman brought 6 other old ladies who are just ogling this guy while he's fixing the light in her house. And then the woman's like, oh, one of the other women is like, hey, my grandson or son or nephew or whoever is the principal at the middle school, and they need a maintenance person to help with the school dance. And Jack's like, sure, I'll do that. No problem. And so they drop him off at the diner. And Kathy is like, hey, man, I told you not to leave the house because people are asking questions. You're going to get in trouble, or like you're going to go to jail. It's not going to be good. And he's like, yeah, the sheriff is, people are out there looking for you, asking questions like the sheriff. And Jack looks out the window and goes like, that sheriff? And the sheriff and the deputy are right outside. And this clip of them like talking to him and the response from the deputy, it just got me. So here it is.
Hello, stranger.
We should speak up. He can't hear you through the glass.
Like I said, the scenes with these two, Craig Robinson, Joe Latrulio, are the best in the movie. They steal every scene they're in. It's fantastic. So the sheriff is now inside questioning Jack. He's like, hey, man, because he just asked for some ice, just a cup of ice. And the sheriff's like, hey, Jack, why is there no beverage with that ice? And he goes, because I like to eat the ice, sheriff. And then they have a tense moment of eating it. So Jack is eating the ice and the sheriff is also just scooping in, eating the ice, and they're just staring at each other the whole time like, ugh. And Jack, meanwhile, is sweating because, again, he's a snowman, so he's freezing, but also sweating at room temperature. So not good, not good. So Kathy, again, scolds Jack like, hey, man, you can't keep doing this. You got to keep a low profile. You got to chill out. The sheriff is on to you now. Like, we got to figure out what, like, you're going to be in real trouble. So they argue, and because he's just trying to help like she does. So he's like, I want to help people like you do. I want to do what you do and help people out. That's what I want to do. And so she's like, dude, you can't do that, man. You got to be chill. You got to be cool, man. Be cool. So they go home in silence. And then they get home and she realizes not only did he decorate the house for Christmas, but he fixed the roof. He fixed the stairs, not the heat yet, but he did 2 major repairs and decorated the house. So she realizes that he's just really being helpful. And she comes around like, hey, you didn't have to do that. Like, why'd you fix the roof? Why'd you fix the step? And he's just like, it needed to be fixed. So I learned how to do it and I fixed it. Just what I do. So she's like, all right, since this thirsty old lady asked you to work at the middle school, here are the rules. I drop you off. I pick you up. You don't tell anyone you're a snowman. You don't leave the school. And we should be fine. So we go to the middle school. Jack is crushing it. Like, he's really good with the kids and really good at putting stuff together. There was a funny little scene where he got too warm and had to go out in the snow and just kind of, you know how when you splash water in your face to kind of wake yourself up? Well, he did that with snow. He splashed snow in his face, like doused himself with snow. Pretty good scene. So yeah, he's crushing it at the middle school, and now he and Kathy are friendly again, getting closer, getting friendlier, and they're making cookies, and I think I'll use this for the picture. So he bit a snowflake one, and then there was a snowman cookie, and she bit the head off, and was like, oh, good cookie. So she's looking the other way, and his face, when he realizes that she just bit the head off a snowman, was hilarious. So they're putting up the tree, or they're going to put up a tree. So he left the room, and the look onto the camera pans to her face. The look on her face. She had a twinkle in her eye. Here we go. She is coming around to this guy. Maybe, just maybe, her heart can grow like the Grinch's this holiday season, and she won't have to ruin everybody's Christmas to do it. Maybe. But here we go. So she picks him up from the school the next day, and man, they have a conversation in her car because he's just like very jovial and outgoing and wants to talk to everybody. And she's just like, all right, come on, man, we got to go. And she's like, oh, that everybody in town loves you. And she's like, wait, I thought you said, you said it took a long time to fall in love. And he's confused by her usage of the word. And so she says, love is not even in my vocabulary right now. And she hasn't figured out how to get there without her husband. And so, yeah, Paul is gone, and that's why the house kind of fell into disarray because he used to do the repairs and she just kind of let it all go. And then, so she's not figured out how to move past that quite yet. I don't know how long it has been since he passed away. I don't think that was made clear. Maybe I just missed it. But yeah, so that scene though, man, like just tugging at my heartstrings. Like this was a real, just had a legit conversation like in her car, like, all right, you want an answer? Here you go. And just lays it all out. I'm like, geez, man, like exactly the kind of exposition that we needed in the moment where like both Jack, for sure, the character, and us as the viewer, like, hey, why is she kind of being standoffish to this guy who's literally just helping the way she helped him come to life, inadvertently, but still. And so now we know that she can't get too close or doesn't want to get too close because she hasn't figured out how to do that just yet. So they continue to, like, a great scene, great conversational scene that they had. Just fantastic. Really well done. So they're driving back home and they pass reclaimed rags. Reclaimed rags. And Jack has ordered a new pane of glass for the store using Kathy's credit card. And I love how he figured out how to use Amazon. He's like, oh, it didn't ask for a payment. I thought it was a giveaway or something. He's like, she's like, my credit card's on my computer. So he used her credit card. That's funny. So he jumps out to fix it. And she reminds him, like, hey, just lay low. Be cool, man. So then we flip to Jack confessing to Mel and Theo, like, I did it. I broke the window. I stole the boots. I stole the clothes. And Theo's like, keep them. Mel's like, you know what, man? You did what you had to do. And it's Christmas. It's all good. And you're helping us fix it. So that's great. Good for you. We're all right. Everything's all right. Everything's all right. So they're helping to install the glass. And here come the cops. So Kathy distracts the deputy with some soup, of course, because why wouldn't you be distracted by soup if you like soup? And then they both come into the shop, Reclaimed Rags, to question Mel and Theo about, like, hey, what's up with this deal, this glass? Like, why would this guy help you? Why would he do that, you think? Oh, man, because the sheriff thinks this guy is some kind of secret spy or something, or some big conspiracy. It's like, why would he do that, I wonder? And Mel's like, nope, screw you, buddy. It's Christmas. He's just doing what he can to make everybody better and do all the stuff. It's all good, man. So then we're back in the middle school, and Jack is blowing up balloons, hidden from view. Two kids walk in to survey the scene. And earlier, though, Jack had introduced these two kids. Like, hey, you know her? Great. Here's this person, and then here's this person. Do that together. Great. So they're working on a thing. And so they're back in, check it out. And the dude works up the courage to ask this girl out. And I'm like, man, go get him, kid. Asked her to the dance. She said yes. Nailed it. And then Jack's like, yeah, awesome. Cool. And then he gets an idea. Yeah, so Jack hears that. I mean, just really cool. Like, hey, man. Kid's like, yeah, go for it. And he got it, and it worked. So now this kid's got a date for the dance. Very excited. So the sheriff so we cut back to the police office, and the sheriff is working on a big board trying to connect the case. A lot of yarn, a lot of, pictures of everybody in town, like this person, that person. I need a picture of Jack. So just then, Jack walks in. So the sheriff needs a picture because he knows Jack's in on it somehow. He's like, I know this guy's connected to this crime spree we've been having. I just know it. And so Jack walks in, and he's like, oh, man, cool art project. Are you taking everybody's picture in town? The sheriff's like, yeah, I need your picture too. So he takes a picture of Jack to put it on the big board. I guess somewhere in there is Pepe Sylvia. So he's going to figure that out. And Jack came to talk to the deputy like, hey, man, I want to date with Kathy and I need some advice. So the guy gives him advice on everything from kissing to dancing, and just a really fun scene. Again, Craig Robinson and Joe Latrulio, every scene they're in this movie, they crush it. It's awesome. So Jack gets home and he asks Kathy to the dance, like, hey, come on, can we do this? And she's like, well, I haven't been asked to a school dance in a long time, because Jack's a chaperone at the dance. Like, hey, come on, be my date, come to the dance. She's like, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. And then we get a shopping trip montage because Jack needs some outfits. And here's what I'll say. It was a fun scene. I enjoyed it, all the different outfits and the colors and the combinations and whatnot. But then the one that he chooses is just like a plain black tux. And I'm like, man, you go through all those colors and you settle on the plain one. I'm like, I don't know, just a little thing. If I have one gripe, it's that he didn't come with a more colorful ensemble for the dance. I don't know, maybe it wouldn't have matched her thing. I don't know. Anyway, just a little gripe. School dance time. Here we go. The kids love Jack. And it appears, because one of them's like, hey, you ready for tonight? So they have some sort of plan. Kathy's like, whoa, what's going on? So you think that he's going to have some elaborate something or other to ask her out. But we'll find out later if that's the case. So he and the kid from earlier, the kid who asked the girl out and was really nervous, they're hyping each other up at the punch bowl to try to ask their dates to dance. Kid's like, I don't know how. And he's like, oh, just come next to me and we'll do it. And we'll walk you through it. So they're dancing, they're crushing it. And then a fast song comes on, and here's the big plan. It's a big dance number. And they all go big choreographed like, burp, 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 burp. That's not how it went. But so big dance number at the school. And it appears Jack is getting very warm and starting to melt because, again, he's still a snowman. So we got to watch out for that. So Kathy takes him outside like, hey, all right, let's get some air. Let's handle this. So they're talking and they almost kiss. They get really close and Jack stops. And he's like, hey, I feel like I'm being selfish. I don't have a lot of time. I don't know how much time I have. And you've already been left behind by a guy disappearing from the world, right? For lack of a better term. So he's like, I don't want to do that to you again. And so he stops and then they go and yeah. So now that's something weighing on both of them. And so there's some fun in this movie, but there's some real stuff too. There's some real stuff. Don't you worry. There's a mix of everything in here. So we go to a new day and the sheriff is walking through town talking to himself, trying to figure out what Jack's deal is. Is he a spy sent from somewhere else? Is he some kind of, criminal mastermind? And then he's looking around and he sees somebody used the ATM. So he heard somebody use it and looked over and goes, does that have a camera? Does that ATM have a camera? So he looks, there is a camera and it's directly across the street from reclaimed rags. But here was my thought when I saw this scene. Jack already confessed to Mel and Theo, and they told him, keep it closed, don't worry about it. And he replaced the window, so that's been handled. And so Mel and Theo wouldn't press charges, so he wouldn't be able to, I would think he wouldn't be able to be, now someone tell me how the legal system works here, but maybe it's different in Hope Springs. But I thought at the time, at this point in the movie, Jack wouldn't be able to be arrested on the charge of breaking and entering or, petty theft, because it's already been handled, because the victims of the crime would have to press charges, right? So they wouldn't do that. They've already had the conversation with Jack, so they wouldn't do that. So, all right, so now we're figuring out what the sheriff is trying to do here. So meanwhile, it's a busy night at the diner. Jack is making eggnog for everybody. He wants to go out and see everybody. Kathy's like, no, it's really hot out there. You're going to melt. Don't do that. But he goes out there and Kathy is she's making a speech like, hey, thanks for coming, everybody. We got a whole bunch of other people in this town, and we got friends and neighbors. And the sheriff interrupts, and criminals, because the sheriff has a picture from the video footage from the ATM, and it's of Jack streaking through the town his first night when he came to life. So yeah, he's not going to get him on the B&E. He won't get him on the theft, but he's going to get him on public nudity and being a nuisance, I suppose. Although he arrested somebody on a noise complaint for unwrapping candy in a movie theater, so he probably just makes something up. So he gets Jack, takes him away for the streaking. Mel tries to explain to the sheriff, like, hey, he's different from us, man. And somebody's like, what do you mean different? And the doctor pipes up, he's a snowman. He came to life because magic. And everybody's just like, yeah, okay. Like, they just went with it. So this whole time, Kathy is like trying to make sure no one realizes he's a snowman. But it seems like they either already knew, or by the time they were told, they were like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, no one cared. And so Kathy was like worrying for nothing. And, it's Christmas, magic, why not? She's like, yeah, I get it. And everybody's like, yeah. So now they have to figure out how to get Jack out of custody. And so the sheriff's trying to fingerprint him, and Jack has no fingerprints because, again, he's not a real person. He's a snowman. So the sheriff's like, I got it. You burned him off because you're a super spy. Jack's like, dude, come on, man. It's really hot in here. Can I get some ice? Like, come on, bro. What are you doing? So he's in a cell. So the sheriff's like, forget this man. I'm setting bail at $2,000 because he's a sleeper agent. He's going to let him sweat it out. You can pick him up on the 26th. So 2 days Jack is going to spend in the cell, and he's definitely going to melt by then. So we got to be careful here. So Kathy runs over to the diner at the safe. She's like, I got some cash. It's not enough. And come on, man. So she and the deputy are trying to appeal to the sheriff, like, hey, come on, man. It's Christmas. He's a good guy. Everybody's fine with it. What are you doing? So here comes everybody in town to pony up their money. Like, hey, everybody give him some money. We're going to pay this guy's bail. And they're about $10 short. So then who would come through the crowd? The kid from earlier who asked that girl out and was, hyping up Jack to go dance with their dates. Turns out that kid is the sheriff's son. He comes up with the last $10, and the sheriff finally has a change of heart and is like, all right, you know what? Give everybody their money back. I'm going to let him go. Because they're like, hey, come on, Sheriff, man. You know, men are defined by their actions, right? How are your actions going to define you, Sheriff? And he's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to let him go. Because he's a hard ass, right? He's just like, come on. Everybody just kind of laughs at me. I'm just trying to keep this town safe. And the town is really safe, you know, thanks to him or thanks to it's just a safe place to be. Either way, it's safe and he's in charge, so he can take some solace in that. So he lets Jack go. And Jack's in bad shape, man. He's in bad shape because he's been in there with no water, no ice. The heat's on because, again, it's Christmas. So they get him outside. He's into the snow, and it looks bad. It looks bad, guys. It looks like he's not going to make it. But you know what? This is a small town on Christmas, goddammit. And so we are going to have to come around somehow. So Kathy gives him a kiss and just walks away like, all right, we're good. Just let the sheriff handle it. We're going to, you know, it sucks, but here we are. So then Jack wakes up. Her kiss turned him into a real boy. Yes, he's up. Everybody's like, Jack, what? So then we realize that Jack, I guess somehow, much like the scarf had magical powers, Kathy's lips are also magical somehow. So, so he's a real boy. He's actually cold. His temperature seems to be regulated. That means, well, I was going to say now that means he's got to do all the human stuff that he didn't have to do as a snowman, which kind of sucks. But is he still going to be as handy as he was? Like, he's still going to be as good at fixing stuff? I don't know. So then we cut to Christmas morning. Jack and Kathy are together opening presents. And his present to her was a home repair book. And because throughout the movie, like every time she walks by the heater, because the heat is off in her house, like it doesn't work in her house. And she has a little Post-it note that says, call repairman today. And so she takes the book. She's like, you know what? Screw this. She takes the book, the How to Repair Stuff for Dummies or whatever, and goes down and fixes the heater. And he's like, all right, try it now. Boom, heat in the house. Finally, goddammit, she can rip off the Post-it note. And earlier in the movie, by the way, when Jack was watching TV, they were watching TV together. And it was like a travel special about Hawaii. And Jack like, isn't that amazing? I'd love to go. And Kathy's like, I don't know, man. You're a snowman. Hawaii's very warm. Even at Christmas, you would melt. She's like, but maybe someday you'll get yourself there. And it turns out her Christmas present to him was tickets for the two of them to go to Hawaii. So there you go. There you go. Because he saw it on TV. He wanted to go. And so the present for her was getting the heater fixed and doing it herself. Because Jack already fixed the other stuff. And the present to him was a trip to Hawaii because he saw it on TV. So we end with him driving off to go presumably to the airport to go to Hawaii. So there you go. But the one thing, though, before we get to the bloopers in the song and wrap it up here, is I remember I told you at the beginning, it was like a narrator, like, hey, a holiday tale, and you haven't heard one like this. And so I thought at the end, we would get another visit from that narrator, like, and see, that's how we do things in Hope Springs or whatever. But we didn't get that. So we didn't really get to close the book officially because we didn't get a little narrator comment, which I was kind of like, all right. I mean, it's a common literary device for movies, right? Here's the story. But then usually you come back and you end the story. But it didn't. It just said the end, and then that was the movie. And then we got some bloopers, which were very funny. And in betwixt all of that was a song. So what I did was I pulled out the parts of the song, mashed them together. So it might sound a little rough around the edges, but the sheriff and the deputy are singing a song about the town, and that is how I will take you home today. Thank you very much for joining me again, Hot Frosty on Netflix. If you watched it, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if I missed anything, or if you didn't like it. Let me know that too. And if you didn't watch it, I recommend it because I thought it was a goddamn delight and just really, really good. I enjoyed it. I like these movies a lot anyway, so right up my alley. So there you go. Thank you very much. This has been fun. We only have one more movie review to do for the season. It'll be Snow Day, and that episode will be coming out on December 28th because next Saturday, the 21st, is our annual holiday show. We'll be talking about our favorite Christmas traditions, so share those with me. We'll talk about a Peruvian Christmas tradition, which has always, since I learned about it, has tickled my fancy, and I want to tell you about it. We will be recapping another Christmas episode of The Office, the U.S. version. And we'll tell my favorite retail story as well. And we'll have holiday tunes from friends of the show throughout the episode. So there you go. Is that all? I think that's all. for the menu for the holiday show. I believe. I don't know. We'll figure it out, and we'll all have a lovely time. I hope. It's one of my favorite shows. It is my favorite show of the year. And so I'm very much looking forward to sharing all of that with you. So I do hope you come on back to have some fun. So there you go. Thanks for coming today. Thanks to the captain. Thanks to the woman who got us free food. Thanks to my smoking hot wife for finding it, going to get it. And sorry the party was not well attended, but we will happily take food off your hands any day of the week. So there you go. Happy holidays. I'll talk to you next week with my favorite episode of the year. I cannot wait. Hope to see you there. Go have fun. Don't be dumb. I love you. This has been an 8 Boiling production. I will talk to you soon. Go crap open a cold one.
We tell everybody a little story.
A little story about our town, yeah?
Down in Hope Springs. Yeah, I like that idea.
Let's do it. Crime doesn't pay. Not in here. Not today. Here in Hope Springs.
Don't try and break the law. It'll be a tragic flaw here in Hope Springs.
If you want old clothes, go see Mel and Theo here in Hope Springs, yeah.
Ethel and Mortimer got a dog full of fur here in Hope Springs.
Uh-huh, they sure do. Huh.
We're gonna keep singing a song till you all sing along.
Everybody.
Here in Hope Springs.
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 Here in Hope Springs. Here in Hope Springs. Here in Hope Springs. Hope Springs.
I think we gotta go again, okay?
Jerry!
Cut.